another yoga class. Well, I'm gonna try to, because I've made multiple attempts and either the videos are too long and they won't upload, or for some reason the camera just stops. Anyway, I'm experiencing some real technical difficulties, and in all honesty, technology is just not my strength. And so it's making me very frustrated, or I'm feeling very frustrated with the process of filming classes here in isolation, while I really would rather prefer to be with you guys. And so I'm trying to be adaptable to the change and noticing when I feel anxious. And I just wanted to be really authentic and speak about that, because I know that some of you are probably feeling really anxious as well. And this is a real thing that's happening for us, a real emotion in this time. And so here I am. I want to show up for you guys. I want to share this beautiful practice. And today's going to be all about relaxation. Whatever things are annoying us, whatever's not working out, whatever's getting shut down, whatever is shifting in our lives really quickly, we're going to let it go. We're going to leave it at the door. We're going to get out all our props. We're going to get into our bodies. We're going to connect with our breath, and we're just going to be here now and practice being present and offering this time and energy to ourselves, and just see if we can kind of change our perspective a little bit. So I have selected a playlist that is playing softly in the background so that you can still hear my voice. If you cannot hear the playlist, or you can and you decide that you really like it and it's something that you would like to have for your own space and practice, please let me know, and I'm happy to get that for you. So I've got my mat up against the wall because I'm going to use the wall to help as a prop to open things up. Blocks, and we've got blanket and a bolster. You might need some other stuff. You might want a strap, you might want an extra pillow, you might want a pillow if you don't have a bolster. Whatever it is that you feel like is going to help support you in this practice, please feel free to run and get it. While you run and get your things, I'm just going to check and make sure that the camera's working because it wasn't last time. And then we'll get into our practice together, okay? All right, so it looks like filming is on. If you still are running around looking for your props and you don't have them yet, that's okay. You can just pause the video and then hit play when you're ready to come back into this with us. So there are going to be less postures today, and they're going to be held for a longer amount of time. Why? So that we have actual time to just be in stillness, get a deep opener, let any tension and frustration just go. So today we're going to start with the bolster underneath our back. I'm going to bring the bolster with me up against the wall. You don't have to do that. But if you want to do that, it's a nice opportunity to also gently start to open your hamstrings. The bolster is going to go underneath my upper back. You might also grab a block to support your head if you need that. So taking the bolster with me, scooting up against the wall, I'm going to bring myself to a place where I can bring my back onto the bolster and at the same time have my legs up the wall. My glutes are down. My glutes are connected, and the block is going to come underneath my head. Now, if my arms are out to the sides, I'm also able to open the chest more and stretch the shoulders. I can feel extension in my spine. If you notice the bolster is on your low back, then you're going to want to shimmy so that it's on your upper back. Continue to readjust until you have yourself in a place that feels really comfortable. If this is too much for your shoulders, maybe your arms come down by your sides. Maybe your hands rest on your belly. Breathe. Now's the time to let everything go. Inhale deeply to the top of the breath. Exhale, open your mouth. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Notice each inhalation, notice each exhalation. Soften. Surrender to your body, this breath, this shape, this time, this practice. If you find your mind drifting off somewhere else, come back to your breath. I know it's really easy in this time to get distracted. Just find your breath, find your peace, find your stillness. Let everything go, let it go, let it go. Maybe as you exhale, you take a sigh of relief. Slowly starting to come out, just lifting the head, removing the block that was supporting your head, lowering the legs, staying close to the wall, but just moving the props out of the way. Come back onto your back. Shimmy closer to the wall. Bring your legs up the wall. Bring your feet together. Just feel your entire back connected down. Notice how the spine feels. Feel the tailbone, back, shoulders, and head grounded down. Feel the arms relaxed. Position the palms facing up as an intention of receiving. Position the palms facing down as an intention of grounding. Place your hands to your belly to connect with your breath. Inhale, feeling the belly rise. Exhale, feel the belly soften. Inhale all the way to the top of the breath. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. With each round of breath, feel a sigh of relief. Relax your face. Create space between the teeth. Relax the jaw. Maybe take a hand to your heart. Look at your feet. As you inhale, point your toes. And as you exhale, flex your feet. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Notice where you're feeling the stretch as you point your toes, top of the feet. As you flex your feet, the calf muscles. And then soften the legs. Bend your knees. As you bend your knees, if you notice that your tailbone came up and got disconnected, just send the tailbone down. To do that, you might take the feet higher up, coming into some hip opening now. Lift a foot, take the ankle to the opposite thigh. Remember, slide your foot up the wall to keep the tailbone grounded. And then bend the knees, slide the heel down to deepen the stretch at the hip, as long as you can keep the tailbone flat on the mat. Let the upper body just relax. Deepen the breath. Feel the chest rise as you inhale. Feel the whole body ground down as you exhale. Check in with yourself. Notice if you need to modify the stretch. Maybe going for a fuller expression if your hip is ready. Finding that sweet spot, finding that place of deep stretch, but not to the point where you feel pain or major discomfort. Take just a few more rounds on this side. Deep breaths. Gently come out. Unwind the top leg, bring both legs up the wall. Just shimmy out the knees gently. And then come into the other side. It's okay to lift the tailbone to get the legs situated, but then bring the tailbone back down. Check the foot that's at the wall. Notice the intensity that you need for this side. It's very possible that this side needs something different. That's okay. Just feel the level of intensity of the stretch that you want or need on this side. Soften the gaze. Close your eyes. Get internal. Notice your breath. Let any thoughts go just as easily as they come in. Let them go, let them go. If they're important, they'll come back later. Just take this time to breathe and feel in the body. 2 more rounds of breath on this side. Take a deeper stretch if you want, finding a fuller expression for the next couple rounds of breath. And then gently and slowly come out. Unwind the top leg. Take both legs up the wall. Straighten the legs. Take a full round of breath here. Hug the knees in. Roll out. Come into the fetal pose. And use the fetal pose as a transition to come on to hands and knees. Set yourself up for tabletop position. As you come into your tabletop position, you're going to line your knees underneath your hips. And you're going to bring your wrists under your shoulders. You guys know this alignment. We've done this before. Arms are straight, inhale, belly lowers. Exhale, lift your back. Take a couple more rounds. Decide if you want freedom in your movement. Find any areas that are sticky or tight and just let yourself remove that congestion. And start to find your way back to center. Setting up now for child's pose. I'd like to offer you knees together, feet together, arms by your sides, head down. If you have trouble bringing your hips to your heels, you can position a blanket to close that gap. If you have trouble bringing your forehead all the way down to the ground, you can position your forehead onto a block for support, allowing the floor to come up to you. You might not need either one of those props. You might decide that you need different propping. In that case, I'd like to offer you bringing the bolster in between the legs. The knees are going to go wide, big toes together. And as you pull the bolster in between the thighs, place your belly and your chest to lay down. Turn your head to one side. Deep breaths. Relax. Let go. Notice your breath. If your breath became short, find the length again. Find those deep inhalations all the way to the top of the breath. Slow, slow exhale. Sink down. Soften. Be here now, in your body. This is the most important place that you can be right now. your head has been facing in one direction, go ahead and turn your head opposite direction. Continue to settle in, resting down, letting go. If at any point you feel that you need to lose a prop, let it go. Slowly starting to come out. Walk your hands towards your body. Find a straight spine. Reach the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. We're going to pause the video for, this is the first part of the relaxation class. So from here, we're just going to stop the video and then we'll go to the next link, which is going to be part 2. So stay tuned. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of our relax class. So for the continuation for part 2, I've got 2 blocks, a blanket, a bolster, and my mat. Because this is part 2, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. And we're gonna start with a wide-legged forward fold. So if you find that you don't have your props, remember you can pause the video, come back, press play when you're ready. If you're ready to go, you're simply gonna find yourself seated onto your mat. You're gonna wanna have your props close by for when and if you need them. We'll open the legs wide. And as we open the legs wide, we want them to be wide enough to where we feel a stretch at the inner thighs, but not so much that we feel the legs coming up, okay? So take your hands, place your fingers underneath the back of your knees. There's a natural lift that's supposed to be there. But the legs, the thighs, and the calf muscles should be down. So if the knees and the legs are popping up, that's just an indication for you to bring your feet closer together. Now, once you have your legs set up, inhale, reach the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, walk your hands forward. Now, if you already feel a stretch, you're going to want to pause there. If you feel like you can go further, but you might need the support of some props, then you can bring your forearms to your blocks. Now, as you settle in, allow yourself to soften and sink down with each exhale. You might even notice that you want to come down further. So maybe you remove the blocks, maybe at some point the forearms come down. You might decide that you need more support. And if that's the case for you, then maybe instead of the blocks, you use the bolster or a pillow if you don't have a bolster. The arms can rest, maybe stacking your hands, making a pillow for your forehead, or maybe you place a block on top of your bolster. So find what you need and then let yourself settle in. I'll let you know when it's time to transition out. As you're in the pose, just focus on lengthening your breath. As the space in your area continues to open, notice if you need to modify. Notice how you might need to change the propping based on how much your body is opening up. If you notice that you're pointing or flexing your feet, just let the feet relax. Let them fall in whatever direction they'd like. Know that we're on our last minute of this pose. So on your next exhalation, take your fullest expression. Fold as much as you can. Relax into the shape. On your next inhale breath, slowly start to lift your head. And gently walk your hands towards your body. Back to a straight spine, reaching the crown of the head up. Gently and carefully start to bring the legs together, supporting the knees, the back of the knees with the hands. And once you bring your legs together, bring your legs out to one side. I find it very comfortable to rest the top ankle on the arch of the bottom foot. Invite your bolster or your pillow onto your mat, positioning the short end of the bolster all the way up to your hip. Keep a blanket close by just in case you need it or want it for a little more lift. Now we're going to take a spinal twist. We're going to rotate the torso. The goal is that we want the belly and the chest resting on the bolster, not the side body. So if you're doing this, you're really going to need to rotate. So I suggest turning your entire front body towards the bolster. As you exhale, walk your hands forward. Lower your belly and your chest down. Then bring your forearms down. If your forearms don't reach the mat, that's okay. You can place your blocks underneath to get a little more height. Now, if you turn your head in the same direction as your knees, that will be less intensity, less of a spinal rotation, more comfortable for some of your necks. If your body wants to spiral deeper, then you can pick up your head and turn your face the opposite direction away from your knees. Decide whichever way you want your head to face, whatever feels most appropriate for your neck. Take a deep inhale through your nostrils. And as you exhale, let go. Relaxing into this shape, into this pose. With each round of breath, feel your belly pressing into the bolster with each inhalation. And feel the torso soften with each exhalation. Now y'all can't see this at home from the screen that you're looking at, but I've got a timer in front of me in the room that's letting me know, so that when we're working on postures that go one side at a time, I'm looking at the timer and keeping track so that we're getting the equal amount on each side. So you don't have to worry about that at all. Just keep focusing on your breath. If you've been in a space lately where you've been feeling like you really could benefit from some relaxation, and just let the breath lengthen. Let the body relax. Let everything go with each exhale. Really expanding your breath. You've got just about 30 seconds left on this side. Walk your hands so that they're under the shoulders. And as you inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, lift your belly, extend your arms. Walk your hands towards the legs and just turn away from the bolster. Lift your knees. Sitting away from the bolster, we're going to come into the other side. So now we're just going to take the legs, take the knees opposite direction. Now bring opposite hip up against the bolster, positioning the top ankle to rest on the arch of the bottom foot. Remember to rotate completely, framing the bolster with both hands, and then lowering your belly and your chest down onto the bolster. Lower the arms, turn the head. So you're gonna stay here. I'm just gonna reposition myself so that I can face the timer to keep us on track. Notice how it feels to have the spine in this direction. Notice any time your neck is calling to move in the opposite direction. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils. And as you exhale, melt down onto your bolster, onto your mat. Let your body be heavy, knowing that you've got the support of the props and the ground beneath you. Just 20 seconds left on this side. Bring the hands under the shoulders and start to lift yourself away from the bolster. Set the bolster aside just for now. We're going to take a mini Shavasana, just for a few rounds of breath. Extend your legs, extend your arms. Open your arms by your sides. Just bringing the spine to neutral, coming out of the twist. As you inhale, feel the chest rise, filling with fresh, clean, new air. And as you exhale, feel your body soften. Take 4 more rounds of breath in this way. And gently bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Transition now onto one side. Come up, invite your bolster onto your mat. Now as we invite the bolster onto the mat, you're going to bring the long end of it towards your body, coming into Supermoon. In Supermoon, we want the ribs laying on the bolster. So take your hand to find your ribs. Gently lower down. And as you position your ribs on the bolster, extend your bottom arm. Extend and straighten both legs. Stacking the top leg on the bottom leg. Lower your head down to your arm. Reach the top arm up and overhead. And just relax that top arm. Some of you are going to want to bring the arm back down, but know that when you lift it up and extend it over, you get a deeper stretch in the side body. Continue to expand your breath. If you feel like that top arm is reaching and engaging too much, just bend the elbow, let it soften. Maybe take the arm behind your head. Maybe take your bottom elbow to bend so your bottom hand can support your top elbow. We're halfway through on this side. Deep, full breaths. Twenty seconds. 5. Release the arms if you're holding them. Inhale, reach the top arm up. Lift your body. Come onto your forearm. Bend the knees. Press yourself up. Come into the other side. Rolling over or rotating the bolster around if you want to maintain facing the screen. Setting up the bolster so that as you lean down, the ribs on this side now rest onto the bolster. Set the bottom forearm down. Extend both legs, straightening them. Extend the bottom arm. Reach the top arm up. Lower your head down. And then reach the top arm overhead. Relax into it. Remember, if it isn't comfortable to keep the top arm straight, bend your elbow. Maybe you bend the bottom elbow and cradle the top elbow in the bottom hand. Feel a nice stretch from the hip up into the ribs. Breathe deeply. Super moon. You're welcome to reposition the arms anytime you want or need to. Listen to what your body's asking for. Halfway through on this side. Got about 30 seconds left. If you're holding on to elbows, release the arms. Inhale, lift the top arm up. Continue to rise up, resting on the bottom forearm, bending the knees, pressing up to a comfortable seat. Now we're going to incorporate 2 blocks. Definitely a bolster, maybe a blanket. So we're going to make a ramp. We're going to come into an incline. For your ramp, you can have your blocks, one of them to the lowest height, closest to you, and the one furthest away from you is going to be at the mid height. From here, the bolster comes on top of the blocks. And you want to make sure that the bolster, the middle of the bolster, is above the blocks. That's going to hold you up the best. If you want a steeper incline, then you can reposition your blocks so that the one closest to you is at the mid height and the one furthest away from you is at the highest height. Again, whichever height you choose for your blocks, when you position your bolster, have it midway, okay? Also, I recommend having the zipper side of the bolster down so that you don't feel the zipper on your back. Now the blanket would be if you want an additional prop for your head. You may or may not want that. If you have extra blocks, you might want them at the sides to support your arms. To come into the pose, bring your low back all the way up to the short end of the bolster. Now your legs have options for how they can be positioned. If you want to work on hip opening, you can have the knees bent, feet together. If your hips are really tight, then you might want to support with some blankets, blocks, pillows. Or if your knees come down pretty far, you probably won't need that. So that's one option. Another option is to have the legs straight down. Whichever option you choose for your legs, just gently walk your back onto your bolster. Feel the support of the bolster on your back. If anything feels wobbly, you might want to come up and reposition. And then bring your arms out to the sides. Just softening the arms without reaching and activating, just taking a gentle bend in the elbows. Palms can be facing up as an intention of receiving energy, or palms can rotate down for grounding. If at any point your neck feels uncomfortable, then you might want to take the option of placing the blanket underneath your head for more support if need be. If you come into this and your legs are straight and you decide that you want hip opening, you can just bend the knees. Let the soles of the feet find each other. Maybe you take your hands to gently rest on your inner thighs, not pushing, just gently resting the hands there. Or maybe you prefer having your hands on your belly as you breathe. Notice your heart. Notice the energy in your heart. Notice the breath moving in and out. And practice slowing this breath. Know that you're welcome to reposition any time that you need to. I've got my blocks at the highest height, and I've decided that I want to lower them down a little bit so that I can bring my arms further out so that I can get a deeper stretch in my shoulders. If you'd like to join me, you're welcome to do that. If you feel good where you are, please stay there. And if you're following my lead of lowering the blocks down, you'll notice now you can bring your arms further out, working towards wrist being in line with the shoulders. Now feeling a deeper shoulder opening, more opening of the chest, exposing the heart, opening the fourth energy center, Anahata, cultivating love and compassion, and sending it out to everyone, and feeling this for yourself as well. We're more than halfway through. If your arms are out to the sides, feel the shoulder blades moving towards each other. Know that this area that holds on to stress and tension is now using the shoulder blades of coming together to squeeze the stress and tension away, letting it melt off your back, off your being, onto the props, down into the mat, into the ground. Deep inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, open your mouth, let go. Hear the sound of each breath. If at any point the arms feel numb or tingly, just lower the hands down towards the body until that sensation goes away. Keeping the arms safe and protected. Research says that when we feel that tingling and numbness, it's a nerve that's being compressed. And if we stay with that sensation, then we can cause nerve damage. So continue to bring the arms down. Maybe wiggle the fingers. 30 seconds left in this pose. Continue to open your heart, cultivating love and compassion, letting go of fear and uncertainty. If the knees are bent, straighten one leg at a time. Making a solid foundation with the legs. Rotate the palms facing down. Lift your head, shoulders, and back off the bolster. Sitting up, straight spine. That was 6 minutes in that pose. Remove the bolster. Remove the blocks. It is time for our relaxation pose of Shavasana. I recommend trying this pose with the bolster underneath your knees if you have not already. You'll find that the bolster under the knees is even more comfortable than the blocks. And then you'll lean back, coming onto your back, shoulders, and head. Positioning the arms by your sides, hands at your belly. Maybe one hand at your belly, one hand at your heart center. Just trying different options, finding what feels most grounding in your body. Maybe taking some circles with the ankles, finding ankle mobility. Sometimes we hear cracks and pops, just letting the air release from the joints. And as you come into your relaxation pose of Shavasana, tuck your chin towards your chest to lengthen the back of the neck, soften the feet, relax them, find stillness. Know that when we're in this shape, we're in this pose for a longer amount of time. We do that so that our bodies can integrate the work that we've done, the stretching, the deep opening, the reflection. And when we're in stillness, our body temperature lowers. So it's nice to have a blanket that you can open up, rest on top of yourself, inviting some warmth in, taking your arms underneath the blanket, and feeling just how nurturing this is. Tucking your arms in, maybe even opening the blanket more so that you can cover your feet. Let your eyes close. This is it. This is where we want to arrive. This is why we do the physical practice. So that we can get the wiggles out. So that we can just practice presence. Simply being here now with ourselves. Knowing that this place within ourselves is the most important place that we can be. We've earned this time. Give yourself permission to relax and enjoy it. If at any point you notice yourself getting distracted with your thoughts, practice sending the thoughts away just as easily as they arrive. Know that if it's something important, it'll find its way back later. But for now, just focus on your breath. And start to wiggle your toes. And lift your feet. Take your feet to the bolster or let them hover in the air. Roll over onto one side, fetal pose. Take a deep breath here. When you're ready, use your top arm to press the floor away. Coming into your seat, continuing to work with your blanket if you'd like, if that feels warm, nurturing, and supportive to you. And something I'd like to share with you is about the length of our Shavasana. It's recommended by yoga teachers and yoga schools to have 5 minutes of rest, relaxation, per 30 minutes of activity. So as you move through these online classes in your home practice, allow yourself sufficient time of integration and relaxation. And if you find that on a particular day you need more time, more relaxation, more introspection, that's awesome. Just pause the video and give yourself all the time that you need. Thank you for participating in the second half of the Relax class. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in our home practice again soon. Thank you and namaste.